Folks, just a quick interruption before this video starts. It's time to announce the contest winners. We were running for a couple of months contest to win a special one-off FailRace t-shirt, which has been won by Christopher Earthington. Me and Lado will be delivering it at some point in the new year. Now, there's also a competition to take part in the Survive the Hunt live. Unfortunately, Christopher didn't have an Xbox, so we redrew the name, and congrats to John DeVille, who has won that honour of getting shot at by us lot and trying to run away. So, congrats to the two winners. Also, a little bit of an update on the storefront. Lado has moved onto a boat, so the store is going to be temporarily paused while we figure out a new way of doing everything. It will be back. We will get it working again. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So at some point in the new year, the store is going to be revamped and everything's going to be reworked and whatnot. But thank you to everybody who has bought merch over the last few months. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you all are enjoying your merch, and yeah, we will get back to sorting it out as soon as possible. But yeah, back to the video. Enjoy some crashing cars and all that. Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on BeamNG Drive for a new series of Driven Till Destruction. We're going to be on the Streets of Destruction map and going to be seeing how long various cars can last. We are starting off today with an I-Series. This is a mid-spec I-Series. It's a 4-cylinder, relatively powerful 4-cylinder all-wheel drive. So quite a good shout for this. And the rules of this series are as they have always been. Vehicles are going to have to be, I say, driven hard, relatively hard. I'm going to make a couple of alterations slightly, especially that first jump. From a standing start, sorry, that first jump is liable to kill everything's oil pan. So while oil pans are a real issue with this, cars are certainly going to be allowed to be driven a little bit more carefully over some of the speed bumps around here. However, some of the jumps actually need to be hit hard, or need to be hit with relative speed. Hit them too slow, and you're going to get stuck / beached. Hit them too fast, you're going to overshoot. This one here, oh god, I lost control of the back end of the car heading towards it. That's okay, we got down it surprisingly well, actually, for the I-Series. So yeah, I don't have to hold the throttle down everywhere. We're going to have to be, because this track is very destructive. This track is very destructive for the cars, and even me being relatively sensible is going to be yeah, interesting around here. That jump's not too bad to get the car over. That one there is a little bit harder. Don't end up out there. That could be a problem. We're fine. The I-Series has got around relatively nicely. The crawler rule will be in effect. You know, if the car can't clear about 20 miles an hour within a decent amount of time, it will be counted out for damage. I have got a little kitten who is currently sat fascinated watching the Audacity bar move around. Dagon, please do not. Yep, you're going to fall off the desk doing that. Oh, it's a good thing there isn't a mouse on the screen, because she loves to chase that around as well. It's very cute. Slightly distracting. But anyway, she's woken up the second I want to try and record. The I-Series is clonking its way around here for quite a strong first lap, actually. The advantage of the I-Series... Oh, I say quite a strong first lap. It's got a little bit of steering damage. The advantage of the I-Series, yeah, all-wheel drive, apparently quite tough around here. And this speed bump that we're heading up towards, I'm not really sure what the best way to take it is. Go too fast and you get big air time, you tend to land on the nose. Go too slow, you'll beach it and damage the underside on the way over. On a rolling lap with a faster car, you can actually kind of jump over it and it's not too bad. Some of the water isn't too bad to land on. I think the water cushions the blow on some of these bigger jumps. A couple of the big jumps here, the water is actually helping the cars survive a little bit. So, oh god, my steering is quite bad now. Oh well, apparently we're going over this side. Not where I wanted to go. Yeah, my steering is very erratic. Although that crash might have actually fixed it a bit. I think it has. Kind of bent the wheel back the other way. It's certainly not perfect, but it is better than it was. So that is something. Oh, this jump you really want to aim for the right-hand side. You get a nicer landing if you aim for the right-hand side for takeoff. Oh, the radiator's gone. I mean, that is going to happen eventually. I'm not particularly surprised. In fact, the radiator on this, being a road car and not at all designed for off-road, is doing pretty well. This jump here also is another jump. We want to kind of aim for the right-hand side as much as possible. You want to try... You don't want the car twisting on the takeoff because they tend to land on the various front wheels and snap tie rods and break your steering. So, a lot of these jumps you've got to try and line up quite precisely for something snapped on the landing there. I don't know. Something bent. Okay, now the front wheel is okay. I was worried that front wheel snap. Definitely looked like it started flapping around, but it's still in one piece. This is actually quite, again, for a road car, pretty strong performance from the I-Series. This track is destructive. This track is challenging for cars in general, so it is good to see it. Let's say this thing heading around for another lap. We're still going. Now, it is getting warm. It is overheating. That is a concern. I locked the brakes a little bit, didn't want to quite get slowed for that. Damaged the his synchronizer, that's going to be irrelevant in the long run for this car. Now, oh no, don't do this to me, car. Oh, that's a bad hit on the landing. Suspension is taking an absolute beating. I mean, the water can help cool the engine down. We want all the cooling we can get, really. Things are not looking good suspension-wise on this car. Overheating, it may well die of. I think the suspension's going to conk out. It does just seem to randomly steer at various points. Like here, we're in trouble. Ooh. Now the oil pan has gone. Engine is flooding with water. Thankfully, it's okay. The car's upside down. The engine got a bit wet, but it survived. So I'm allowed to use the node grabber to right a car. If it gets stuck, that's fine. However, any damage done in rolling the car or damage done to the engine being upside down, running, and all of that sort of thing is just added, adds to the car's damage. It's kind of its penalty for falling over. I will say, having done a few tests around this circuit, if the car, that landing zone there, the cars can actually drown, and if the car looks like it's drowning, I'm allowed to turn the engine off in that instance, because we're not actually trying to drown the cars. Especially if the car is damaged steering, it can actually get fired off to the left and end up in quite deep water. So they are allowed to be turned off, but only in that instance, as don't want the engines hydrolocked from that. We are now quite... we're struggling with the steering. So once again, cars can be and probably will be counted out for steering damage. This occurs when a vehicle can no longer make the course without reversing. Now, I'm allowed to reverse for various reasons. I've overshot a corner, missed the braking point. Oh god dear. Driving errors. I'm allowed to grab reverse from that if it's just a one-off and whatnot, spinning on jumps and all of that kind of thing. I am allowed to reverse. But if the car is physically unable to make a corner, then it is counted out. It'll become quite obvious when that is the case. The engine is starting to get a little bit upset. The engine's upset, the suspension's upset, the steering's upset. I think we're going to just have to try and keep this car going. You see, with the water, we've cooled the engine enough that it's not going to overheat temperature-wise, but I think the lack of oil is going to be the thing that maybe kills it. Oh dear. I didn't really want to have to slow down. Never mind, it's going to slow down on its own anyway. No, don't want to be running upside down. This is a not great situation for the I-Series. I was hoping we could kind of keep some momentum going. Synchronizer damage. Less of the concern here. Oil is overheating. Well, what little oil there is left in the car is unhappy with me. That's fine. That's if there's any oil left in it, I'm actually quite happy it's still there. Oh, we're not fast enough to make that landing nicely anymore. Front left knackered. Front right surprisingly good, actually. But we are on to another lap. This thing is resilient. I will give it that. I will give the car some credit there. It is a seriously resilient I-Series. The conrod bearings are damaged. We are not going to make this landing properly anymore. Engine starved of oil. Everything's overheating now. Get through the water. Take some cooling, car. I think the engine may be about to melt. But we're still going for now. Come on, I-Series. Set a good benchmark. Set a good benchmark for future vehicles to try and beat. Because it is actually quite impressive. As I said, for a road car, this has been doing pretty well. Just live for a little bit longer. Get coolant's overheating. Everything's expiring in the engine. We will complete the next jump. Can we get down the next section? That is the question. I mean, the water helps with the coolant overheating part. It doesn't help with the lack of oil. Piston rings are going. The engine is on its last legs now. It's going to conk out at any minute. If we can get over that hill, we'll be doing quite well. And I think that is the end of the engine for the car. We are throttle, and it's off. The engine is locked. Yeah. Once the oil pan was gone, we were in trouble. The steering held up amazingly well. Again, for a road car, that has done a stunning job, all things considered. Yeah, it struggled. It struggled with, well, the engine running out of oil. It was always going to overheat eventually, but yeah, impressive start. An impressive start for the I-Series here. Up next, we have got a Roma. This one of the most sort of bog standard Romas you can get. Well, I say that. It is one of the V8. It's got a V8. It is all-wheel drive. It's definitely much better suited to this course than a lot of cars that we will see run around here. But that is always an important test for a destruction circuit if it can, well, destroy vehicles like this. This track is more than punishing enough, I think, that a vehicle like this is going to have some problems. I mean, the big plus points for the Roma. Okay, we've got ground clearance. Ground clearance is good. It's protecting, but mainly the oil pan, radiator as well. But yeah, it's protecting the oil pan from heavy damage. That's the hope here, is that it'll keep it alive. Oh, although not like that. That was a bit too fast. So there's a speed that you want to be going over that jump to make sure that you land. You want to clear the pipes, but land on the sort of downward bit of the landing zone. That's a bit of a nasty crunch. This here, you've not really got much in the way of options. You've just got to kind of send it and hope you've lined it up, especially considering how much the truck's twisting about. It's hits like this that the Roma's not too bad with. Hits like that on the road cars breaks the suspension, breaks the steering. The Roma's pretty heavy. I mean, there's much more heavy-duty trucks that will inevitably run around here in future. That's not hit properly. Okay, I saw some flexing from the front wheel that I was worried. If this manages to break the steering before an I-Series, we've done something wrong. Things have gone awry. I mean, the front end is messed up, but it's fine. Front left doesn't quite look too happy. Let's find the gap through the middle there. Whoa! So, one of the other things we do get with off-road as well, as I've been saying, the suspension is great. Much better for this. One thing we do sometimes get is bouncing, which we are currently seeing, and I'm currently struggling with the God Roma. Yeah, so these suspensions, yeah, are stronger. They absorb the bumps. However, we do sometimes see the vehicles getting thrown around. So they kind of absorb the bump and then ping the truck back up into the air. That can be a real problem, especially if we've got sort of bumps leading up to a jump. You can bounce over the bumps, lose control of the truck heading towards a big jump. So that's something that we're going to have to be a little bit aware of. There's not crazy speed needed for any of these jumps. If anything, a lot of vehicles you need to kind of get the right speed for the jumps to make sure they survive, because otherwise you just end up chucking it into the ground nose first. This one here is probably one of the toughest ones to judge. That's better for the Roma. It's still not perfect. It's always going to land quite heavily on the front. Whoop, there we go. That's fine. Okay, all is okay. The steering's a little twisted. It pulls to the left. It's manageable. It's manageable levels of broken. I mean, the nice thing with a circuit like this, doesn't need to be crazy fast at any point. It gives sort of slower vehicles a chance. Of course, it does mean fast vehicles have quite an easy time. In fact, I think fast vehicles around here are going to be quite difficult because they're going to... You're going to... Oh, no, that's a surprisingly bigger jump than I expected. Yeah, with very quick vehicles, because it's such a technical course, going to be quite difficult to keep them in check almost. Do we want to set off? Here we go. Okay. I wasn't enjoying that one amazingly. Yeah, the Roma should be strong around here. That's the theory, at least, even if this is perhaps not the greatest version spec of the Roma. Although sometimes the simple cars are the ones that do the best around these sort of courses. Oh, Oh no, you're bouncing around again. Almost fell off the bridge. You can get away if you fall off the bridge there. There is a route on the beach, I guess, for want of a better word to call it. The boot is. Oh no! Almost fell over. The boot is clinging on for dear life. It's got like one bolt holding it on, and it's just flailing around back there. We will jump over there, and that's fine. Those hits don't really do much to this truck. It doesn't really care about them. I mean, this section here in general isn't too bad for the Roma, especially if you can line it up nicely through here. I mean, it's a steering test, essentially, this section. We've still got more than enough steering to get through there, even if the front left is having questions, shall we say. We can hit this jump. No, it's just kicked back into the air. That's a little concerning, but we land it. It's flattened the roof. All is fine. And I should point out, while we do have a distance counter at the bottom, it is not always that accurate. The distance counter is measuring to do with wheel rotation. That's how it's calculating it. But that doesn't always give you a particularly accurate measurement. Some vehicles that spin the wheels a lot, of course, get much higher measurements. Sometimes damaged cars, it can skew it. So while it is a rough metric, that will not be the be-all and end-all of distance. I will figure out at the end of episodes the laps, etc., that a vehicle has made. Whoa! That's a big hit. That's a very big hit. That's a very concerning hit, front left. Front left, I think front left's lost all its suspension now. Yeah, front left is really, really, really broken. I haven't got much steering left anymore. It still works to steer, I think. Yeah, I think the tie rod's still on it, but the whole sort of shock tower's collapsed. Or whatever suspension had at the front, it doesn't have any more. It's gone. Radiator's gone as well. Well, the radiator's gone because now the front end's got nothing to absorb any of the impacts. I'm surprised, actually. I'm surprised the Roma's lost suspension this early. I mean, it's normally pretty strong. Oh, wow, suspension's gone and it's lost all the drive shafts over a speed bump. The Roma is no more. I mean, it is drive shaft failure that's killed it. It has no drive. However, that was brought on by the fact that the front end has just collapsed. Interesting that the tie rod, but you can actually still see that the tie rod is still on the end there, but the whole front suspension is gone. It is just not doing anything anymore. Might be like the lower control arm or something that's gone on it. Whatever it is, it doesn't have, well, the suspension was doing nothing, and that meant it was riding very, very low over these bumps. One hit, and yeah, out goes all the drive shaft, all the drive. That is a dead Roma. It's a dead Roma quicker than an I-Series. That is quite surprising. I was not ready or expecting that one at all. The final vehicle to run today is the Bastion. Now, I like this car. I don't think it's going to do very well here. I think it's going to really, really struggle around this course. It's big, it's heavy. I mean, we've got a rear-wheel drive spec at the moment. This is the kind of entry-level V8 one. There is a smaller V6 one, but yeah, this is sort of the entry-level V8. So it's got a good amount of power. My concerns are many. Drive shaft is one, suspension is another, oil pan, radiator, all of that fun stuff are likely to go through the water. That's fine. Big heavy cars, I mean, the concern is a lot of weight coming crashing down on the wheels, on the suspension, to snap important bits, but we will see how it goes. Now, oh god, this already doesn't feel quite right. Already feels like something's gone. Oh god, trying to get it set for that bump there. There's bumps leading up to the rooftop jump, and those bumps really screw up a car. It just nudges you off course. You try and line up perfectly with a car like this anyway, where you haven't really got the ground clearance. Oh, we have spat the front bumper out. That's actually quite helpful that we've got that clear. The rules on debris will be the same as they always have. I'm allowed to clear debris from the car, but I'm going to do it only when completely necessary, because the risk of trying to pull it out with a node grabber is quite high. So yeah, you don't really want to have to unless it really is impeding the car. I mean, debris can get wedged in wheels and suspension and so on in such a way where you can't really do anything about it. It does happen. That looks like a skid plate's come off. I mean, the good news is it's actually survived all of this so far with the oil pan in one piece. I was worried I was starting that sentence and then about to lose the oil pan, but no, just the exhaust. That's just going to make it very loud. Oh, no. The radiator's got... radiator's gone. I've got much bigger problems. The front right's completely collapsed on us. The front left's not looking too hot either. Okay. It's collapsed, but it's collapsed actually in a better way. It still has steering, astonishingly. I'm going to guess, I think that time round, that's the top control arm's gone on that. Oh, off goes the side skirt. That's okay. Don't need that. Much bigger concerns. Ooh. Well, no, never mind. Well, bigger concerns was the steering, was the wobbly wheel, but no, we just bumped it. I mean, I couldn't put any power down through any of that because the car was barely controllable. But it didn't take much. It just clonked. I'm gonna guess we clonked the underside of the engine on a speed bump or something. That is honestly quite impressive. That is honestly quite impressive. I love that that wheel is still working as well. That still has steering. That car would have gone further. I mean, it was doing better than I thought in some ways. I mean, once the wheel caved in, it was always going to be a problem. Yeah. That did not quite end as I expected. There we go. Bastian survived a lap, just. Okay, so Bastian barely survived a lap. We'll have something else to finish the video. This is the Hestia, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's sort of a Hyundai minivan from the late 90s, early 2000s sort of thing. Quite a cool vehicle, actually. It's like the sort of mod vehicle to have for this. And we're going to see how well this survives. Now, this is one of the entry spec ones with a diesel. Yes, we have got diesel power. Well, not much diesel power. It's not a particularly good diesel, but there we go. We will see how well this may survive around here. Without the induction system... Oh, God, don't lose the turbo immediately. That would be a problem. That system damage doesn't always mean turbo... Well, okay, well, the oil pan's gone as well. That's not great news for us. The engine oil is already escaped. Well, that's a concern. Can you do better than the Bastian? That is the question. I guess we will try. I was hoping the diesel engine will be tough. In theory, it should take a... But without any oil is going to be a problem. Eee, that's a... Oh, wow, engine impact damage already. This may not be the vehicle for the destruction course. However, can it limp its way around to be better than the Bastian? That is the question here. We shall hopefully say yes. That jump's always a little bit nasty on landing. This section here is not great for a vehicle, and this one here is not particularly quick. It's still able to make the jump. This one here, this jump coming up here, I'm not quite sure where I need to aim for. I think I need to aim for the right-hand side, I think, for a better landing. Oh, no. Maybe not quite. Oh, the exhaust has come off as well. It's having its adventures in its first lap. I don't think it's going to get much around the second lap, but we shall see. Oh, did not quite get through there how I wanted it to. It's bent the rear wheel. The rear wheel, not the most significant part for this. We can just roll you over and hopefully... Why is it broken? I'm not sure what's broken in it, or is it just doesn't want to set off particularly. Oh God, come on. Does still work. That's very weird, because it's just such a sluggish engine. Doesn't really feel like much. Oh, okay, that damage to the rear wheel is a bigger concern. Not that it's not going to... So, damaging the rear wheels of these front-wheel drive vehicles doesn't matter too much, in as far as they're not going to affect your ability to drive or your ability to steer, kind of. The thing is that when they are damaged like this, for example, it will make you handle funky. It's not physically stopping me from driving forward, but it is going to make it difficult to line up for jumps. It's going to make it difficult to precisely position the car for anything, and this course does require some of that. I'm just going to go for it. I think I've always got to go for it, I think, with this. Slow down too much and we are going to be in trouble. I can't afford to lose much power either from the engine, because if we lose much more, we are going to stop being able to drag the minivan around, but it has beaten the Bastian, so that's a thing. That's a thing. The oil is overheating. I'm still glad we've got some left in the engine to overheat, but I don't think it's going to... This car is really long for this world at this stage. Of course, When things go wrong, they go wrong quickly around here, and the course can really do a number on some vehicles. Oh! Oh dear. Yeah, we haven't really got the speed to get down there. Oh, we can cool the oil. Yes. Take in the wonderfully cool water. Not going to do much good for us. I don't think we're making it up this hill. Now there it goes. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly the strongest of cars, this. It lost the oil pan almost immediately. It lost the turbo. It was, yeah. I mean, even without the oil pan damage, I'm not sure this is lasting particularly long around here. But, yeah. It is a very fragile oil pan on this one, and that is the end. That is the end of the minivan. As I said, it beat the Bastion, and I wasn't expecting to say at the end of this first episode that it is an I-Series that's going to lead the way. The I-Series beats the Roma, that are considerably further ahead than these. I mean, they drag themselves around for a lap. They can complete a lap around this course, but it is definitely a very destructive location, this one. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. I shall, of course, leave links in the description to the mods used, to this map, and to this minivan. While not very good at a destruction course, is quite a cool mod, nevertheless. That, though, shall be it from me. Until next time, goodbye.